Shalom, everybody. And it is also Chag Sameach. It is also Yom Tov. It is officially, as the sun sets, the beginning of Sukkot, the festival. So we go from our introspection and our time of deep personal searching for redemption and renewal. And now we move to the idea and the actual promise of God that God will be with us in the wilderness. God will be with us in the hard times, but that we need to understand that everything that we have is but lent to us. It is all temporary. And there's things that we can see right now and what we've got going on in our world, things that you thought you could count on and you could rely on. Oh, you can't actually do that anymore. So what we really need to rely upon is this divinity that's within our own being, the love that we have with family and friends, and the opportunity to pass faith that will give us courage to face the darkness and the dark times, l'dor v'dor, from generation to generation, which we're very proud that this family has done. And Ella is a beautiful example of this, as her brother Reese was before her. And it's great to see you all. So we're going to begin with Hine ma tov u'v'nayim shevet achim gam yachad. Those of you that have your prayer books, we are going to be in the festival service. But for right now, if you have the regular book, just go, I believe it's on page 128. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov, ya la la ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How wonderful it is for brothers and sisters to be together, to dwell together. And that is really the message of this festival. We want to embrace everyone. Love your neighbor as yourself. We are all brothers and sisters of this global world, one humanity, affected by all the ails, each to the other. If we do not do what's right and proper, we affect like a domino, one to the other. So we want to embrace each of the people, everybody that we come in contact with as family. So now, we are going to turn, if you look in your booklets, your prayer books, your siddurim, you're going to turn to the festival section, which is farther back, page 384 and 385. And so we, at this time, are not lighting candles. We are commanded by the city not to do that. So we want to kindle the light in our own being. We have the light of divinity inside of us. So let us read on the top of page 385 together. Help me perfect my ways of loving and caring. Inspire me to make myself whole, so that I may honor your name and create a world of justice and peace. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words that we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. And so now we are going to move to our bottom of the page 387. And we're thanking God for sustaining us and bringing us to this moment, this time, which is a big deal because Ella was going to do this in April. So we're grateful that we are all here together, that we're able to be outside on the parking lot, and for all of us to be healthy and well. Baruch Hashem, Be'ezrat Hashem, Cantor. We want to keep that going. So let us read the English on the bottom of page 387. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this season. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. And now, if you look to page 389, we're going to do the reading. We are combining Sukkot and Shemini Atzeret Simchat Torah. So that is why we will also be doing Yizkor as well. We do services the first and third Friday, and we celebrate the holiday on the closest Shabbat. And we're so excited because this actually is Shabbat that takes place at the beginning of Sukkot. Normally we have a sukkah. Normally we all get to shake the lulav and etrog, and we get to hang and make decorations, but we'll leave that for next year and pray that we can do that at that time. So together, let's read the middle of page 389. Tonight, let our shelters be strung with the finest fruits of creation: love, fertility, prosperity, wisdom. Let us promise to feed the hungry. Let our harvest bring peace. And down below, may our eyes sparkle with the light of Torah and our ears hear the music of its words. May the space between each letter of the scrolls bring warmth and comfort to our soul. May the syllables draw holiness from our heart. And may this holiness be gentle and soothing to us and all of God's creatures. And now, if you will continue, we have the Chatzi Kaddish, and it's very exciting because this is the first thing that Ella's going to do. She's going to come to her podium for the Chatzi Kaddish. You are going to turn to page 392, and this is the official prayer that separates different parts of the service, and it's leading us into the call to worship. And you want to put the microphone, move it towards your mouth. There you go. And we have a little disposable cover. It'll turn so that you're comfortable. There you go. Okay.
Yikadal vikada shmei Rabba.
Amen.
Ba'ama divrach yirute ve'anlich mahute. Bechaye han uveyomechan uvechaye decho be'Yisrael. Bagala, bagala. Uvisman Kari Vimaru.
Amen.
Yehishme Rabba Mevarach La'alam Ul Ame Amaya. Yitbarach Vishtabach Vipar Vitraman Vitnase Vi Hadar Vi Ale Vi Hala Shme the Kudasha Brehu La'ela Minko Birchata Bashirata.
Tushbechata v'nechemata da'amir v'yama.
Amen.
That was your Vimaru. Okay, so we have our Torah right here, and we are blessing it with our devotion and our thought and our inspiration as whenever we say Baruch atah Adonai or Baruch hu et Adonai, we're saying praise God. We are putting blessing out into the universe, to the divine, for the gift of love and life and family and a young individual who is carrying the legacy forward. And then that blessing reflects back upon each and every one of us. So now we have the Baruch Hu, and if you'd like to be seated, Ella, and get ready for your next one, you can. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya 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 la 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 la. At Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. Together, let's read on the bottom, page 395. O God, you are as near as the very air we breathe, and yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and the warmth of your presence. Though we say you are near, we are lonely and alone. Let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and the joy of your presence. And that's so important right now. So many people are trapped. They're at home. It's a wonderful thing that you're here with us today wearing your masks. I do have mine for when I'm coming and going. But we want to access that light to bring it into the darkness and elevate and uplift us all. So now if you will look on page 397. Let us read the reading that you see towards the bottom. First the Sukkot, and then above it, Shemini Atzeret Simchat Torah. The colors of early evening sky blend and deepen, allowing new lights to be seen, twinkling through the branches, the promise that in darkness, new light will be revealed. Now we want to turn Torah and keep it turning, for everything can be found in it. Keep your eyes attached to it. Spend your lifetime in its study. Never budge from it, for there is no better way of life than this. And now, if you will look to page 398 and 399, we have a reading, and then we'll do Ahavat Olam, which is a song, a prayer that speaks of God's love for us, Yisrael, all humanity. Let's read the reading at the bottom of 399. Source of life, every year you plant within us a new tree of life. May it be your will that this year our Torah blossoms with kindness and not cruelty, wisdom and not foolishness, awareness and not thoughtlessness. May you teach us a Torah of love that will nourish us in every season. Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadata, otanu limadata. And now if you will turn the page, we have on page 400 This is our Shema. It is the watchword of our faith. It is said, all of us here that are get together now, we actually were together before at the giving of the commandments, not just 10, but all 613 oral and written at the base of Sinai. And then we were all scattered around the earth. So some people stand for the Shema, some people stay seated and they go into the cocoon of their own being to connect to the divinity, to that small voice inside of yourself, your conscience that keeps you moving forward, the light of God. So we're going to, if you want to stand, stand. If you want to be seated, be seated. We're going to sing the prayer on page 400 and 401. And then Ella is going to come up and lead us in the Ve'ahavta, which is not now, right after. That is going to, it's wonderful that she's so excited and ready to go. Actually the Ve'ahavta is a part of the Shema and its blessing. So take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And feel the breeze. Know that's the Ruach Elohim. God is with us. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. And now Ella is going to come to the microphone. You could be seated, and she's going to lead us in the Ve'ahavta, which you can find on page 402. And if you look at the English text, it's all about the passing down of the love for divinity and teaching the commandments to our children and carrying it forward, a life of morality, a life that is dedicated to all things that are holy and good.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shechbecha u'v'kumecha u'kashartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam amezuzot beitecha u'visharecha le'man tiskaru v'atitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Emet.
Wonderful. Yasher Koach, you can be seated. And now we are going to move ahead into our book, and let's read 405. You know, it speaks about doubting, and there's so many things in our world right now that we can all, fall into that trap of doubt and negativity. And if we do that, we'll fall into the abyss. We need to generate positivity and light and keep that moving forward and affect one another that way. So let's read the bottom paragraph on 405. Doubting is but the forefront of faith, a faith in the infinite growth of an unbounded creation. A doubting age is one of restlessness and discontent with what is current. A doubt is an idea that is still alive. To doubt that the past has uncovered all things is to express faith that many things are actually still yet to be uncovered. To doubt that we have grown to our full stature and knowledge is to express faith that we may develop into beings of such power and dignity that we cannot as yet imagine what shall be. So we need to turn that emotion into positivity. So now, if you'll turn to page 406 and 407, we have words for Sukkot at the bottom on the left-hand page of 407. And these are words that you'll recognize from Ecclesiastes. A season is set for everything, a time for every experience under heaven. And Sukkot, Shavuot, and Passover are the three festivals. We would make pilgrimage, and we would give our offerings on the altar, and we acknowledge at this time the things that we are grateful for. And one of them is that we were set free. We were redeemed from a Pharaoh that was enslaving us. And all of us right now, as I discussed on the Yamim Noraim, the High Holy Days, we have a Pharaoh right now, a plague of sorts with this COVID. And we can and will be redeemed from this if we have fortitude, faith, and hope. There is a season for everything, and we will move past this towards a brighter, greater day. Just like we did before when we had to go forward with faith and not fear. There was a sea in front of us. We knew that. There was Pharaoh and the chariots behind us that wanted to kill us. We knew that. So we had to go forward into an uncertain, unknown destiny and be proactive, and that's what we did. And when we went forward, the sea parted, and we were then able to go forth towards our journey and our purpose. So the Micha Mocha celebrates this moment. Every Shabbat we sing it. So it's on page 406. Kifad Adonai Yaakov, Ugalom Yechazak Mimenu Baruch Atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. And now, if you will turn in your books to the top of page 409, and then we're going to do Vishamru on the next page. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Together, eternal God, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts. That we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Blessed is the guardian of Yisrael, whose love gives light to all the world. Baruch atah Adonai haparestu kat shalom aleinu ve'al kol yemo Yisrael v'Yerushalayim. And if you'll turn to Vishamru on page 410. Veshameru v'nei Yisrael et hashavat la'asot et hashavat ledorotam berit olam. Veshameru v'nei Yisrael et hashavat la'asot et hashavat ledorotam berit olam. B'nei uvein b'nei Israel, oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshameru b'nei Israel et hashavat la'asot et hashavat ledorotam berit olam. So if you'll look on, we're going to skip ahead. We're getting ready for the Torah reading by our beautiful bat mitzvah. But actually, and there is, I did not see in here, hold on one second, in this section, I'm going to have her come up and lead us in the Amidah. Come on up and lead us in that. For some reason, I don't see it here in the festival, so that's okay. We're just going to have her do it. So please rise.
Adonai, Sefer Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chastei Avot, ve'Imahot Umevi Geula, Lifnei v'Nehem, Leman Shmo be'Ahava, Melech Ozer Umashiach Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vesrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye, Hakol atah Rav lehoshia, Morid hatol, Mechokel Chaim bechesed, Mechaye Hakol berachamim mermim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayeb emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha melcha bo'o geverot, Umido melach, Melech memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, ukadoshim b'chol yom, Yahalalu hasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Yasher Koach. Now you can be seated and relax a bit before we get ready for the Torah. Everyone can be seated. So let us read on page 495, the reading for Sukkot, and then Atzeret Simchat Torah. After the gathering of your threshing floor and your vat, you shall hold the feast of booths for 7 days. For Adonai, your God, will bless all of your crops and all of your undertakings, and you shall have nothing but joy. This is the greatest time of joy. And then, if you read down at the bottom, you've been shown that you may know that Adonai alone is our God, that there is none else, who alone does great wonders. God's love is eternal. So Ella's going to be reading the end of Deuteronomy and the beginning of Bereshit as we move towards the Torah portion that will be happening on Bereshit as we end the cycle of Torah reading and rewind the Torah back to the beginning. Normally, we would be in the sanctuary and we unroll the Torah entirely around the whole room. And everyone can see it, and people who want to that have read Torah can go up and read their portion. And so we can't do this right now. So we are going to envelop ourselves with the love and the light that we have here right now. Just a few words about Sukkot so that you understand what she's talking about in her speech. It is the festival. It is a pilgrimage festival. We are meant to construct a booth, a sukkah that is open on one side. So it has 3 sides, and it's open to inviting guests. And then it has a roof of leaves that are constructed in such a way that you should be able to see the stars in the sky. You should be able to connect to the universe out there. And as we chanted and sang at High Holy Days in our Barosh Hashanah prayer, it has been written, who will perish by fire, earthquake, fire, who shall be humbled, who shall be exalted. And all these things, we have to be reminded that what is really solid and true is our own divine spirit and the love that we have. So we have the palm branch, this is the lulav, and this is like our spine to remind us that we shall always be tall and erect. We have the myrtle, which is like our eyes, that we should not only rely on what we see, but search for that which is unseen. It's because sometimes our eyes can be deceiving. Sometimes they can be used for negative impulses like lust, or we're greedy, we want, my precious, we want things. And then we have the willow, and the willow is like the mouth. And just like Ella just chanted with the Amidah, open up our lips that our mouth may declare your praise, that we will only speak words of positivity and light. And then we have the etrog. And this has a little stem on the bottom, and this actually is very important. If you smell it, it has a lovely smell, and this is connected to our heart. And so when you put it together and you shake it in all directions, forward, back, up, down, and all around, we are signifying that God's presence is with us all around. Just like the talit that Ella is wearing and that I am wearing, these tzitzit that are on the corners, the fringes are on 4 corners, the knots combine to equal the 613 mitzvot, all of the commandments, the negative and the positive ones, and they're on 4 corners to represent the 4 corners of the world. So that whatever we do, wherever we go in this world, we are one people. We are all children of God, and we all have divine gifts that we are meant to uncover and share with one another. And most particularly, stand upright and be mindful of what our eyes are seeing. Look for that which is unseen, the divine and the good in people, sometimes we don't really see it. And also our mouths, to be mindful of our speech, and our heart, to share it lovingly, because that's what we can rely on, the love of God and the love of family. So we're going to sing a song right now about Sukkot, and it brings us to a moment where you can envision. So think of yourselves, if you want to close your eyes, think of yourselves in a temporary dwelling, maybe a little tent, a little pop-up tent like what we had at High Holy Days, or maybe if you've gone camping, and what it's like to actually, not be completely sheltered, but still to be safe and secure. Those of you that know it, I see the stars shine. You can sing with me. A day ago, we broke free from the chains of slavery. A day ago, we left our past behind. The road ahead is long, but our faith will remain strong as the promised land awaits our family. I see the stars shining through my sukkah as I lay out here tonight in the desert on my own. I see the stars shining through my sukkah, and I know that you are with me, and I know not alone. A day today we make our homes in many places, many lands. We're settled and we've built up rich new lives. But houses rise and fall, and a wall is just a wall. If it tumbles, our spirit still survives. I see the stars shining through my sukkah as I lay out here tonight in the desert on my own. I see the stars shining through my sukkah, and I know that you are with me, and I know I'm not alone. Sukkot Shalem, Sukkot Shalom. This temporary dwelling is tonight my peaceful home. Sukkot Shalom, Sukkot Shalem. I can hear the breeze blow gently by, whispering your name. I see the stars shining through my sukkah as I lay out here tonight in the desert on I know we're not alone. Tonight you are with us in this sukkah that's our home. So now, speaking of home and family and all that's important, Ella's going to come forward with her family as she's going to read the Torah. She is going to do the last lines of the last line, the end of Deuteronomy. So what's going to happen is that after she chants it, her family's going to do the blessing before the reading. She's going to do the reading, and then after she chants it, we're all going to say, repeat after me, Chazak, Chazak, Beni, Chazeh. Okay, so what's going to happen is we are celebrating, saying from strength to strength, may you go forward again in life as we cycle back through to the beginning. So then her family will do the blessing after the reading of the Torah, and then she's going to be called officially to the Torah as a bat mitzvah. So, are we ready? So I'm going to come over to you because, let me wear my mask. And difficult this. Well, I'm just not going to wear them over here. Okay, so Ya'amdu. Tell me your Hebrew name. Aviva Shena. And Reese, what is yours? Ruvain Gershon. Ryan, we're here with us. You are here, Ruvain, as well. And now we are going to call you to the Torah to read the blessing before and after for our lovely Ella.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ulechol hayad hachazaka ulchol hamora hagadol asher asa Moshe le'enei kol Yisrael.
Yasher Koach. And now we are all going to say Chazak, Chazak, Venit, Chazek. Chazak, Chazak, Venit, Chazek.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah Emet v'hayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And now it is my great pleasure, pride, and joy to announce to you all the wonderful bat mitzvah, Ella. We are calling her officially to the Torah. So here we go. Ta'amah Chana Gabriela Vat Aviva Shena Ryan Ella the daughter of Amy and Ryan Habat Mitzvah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'haaretz hayata tohu vavohu v'choshech al panei tehom v'ruach Elohim merachefet al panei hamayim v'yomer Elohim yehi or v'yehi or Vayar Elohim et ha'or ki tov. Vayavdel Elohim bein ha'or uvein ha'choshech. Vayikra Elohim la'or yom ve'lachoshech kara laila. Vayahi erev vayahi voger yom echad. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah Emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Family, you're all in the same household. You can give her a hug. And everyone say, Yasher Koach.
Yasher.
So now everyone's going to be seated, and she's going to give us a little speech, a little drasha, a sermon on the Torah portion. She is our rabbi today. I'm just her tag team.
Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portion is Bereshit. We are doing this tonight because we are celebrating the festivals of Sukkot and Simchat Torah. On Simchat Torah, we usually roll the Torah around the sanctuary. We finish the last lines of the Torah, and then we say the first lines at the very beginning. Bereshit actually means in the beginning. Chanting these verses along with the blessings before and after with all of you today enables me to become a bat mitzvah. In my Torah portion, God is faced with the task of creating heaven and earth. This was not an easy task because the earth was very chaotic. God was able to divide light from the darkness, and God called the light day and the darkness night. The separation of day and night is very important to Jewish people, and all days actually begin at sundown. That's why all Jewish holidays begin at sundown the day before. From then on, God forms heaven. He then divides land and sea and goes on to align the sun, moon, and stars in order to keep time. He continues with the creation of fish, birds, and reptiles, and then he creates land animals, including human beings. This is a lot of work for God, and you can imagine how exhausted God must have been. Therefore, God decides to stop working on the seventh day and creates the Sabbath, which is also known as the day of rest. I can relate to this idea of taking a break after working so hard. Like most of my friends, I'm so busy during the week with school, playing sports, doing homework, and more that I really appreciate the day or days of rest that God commanded. It's like God knew exactly what a 13-year-old girl would need, even though it was more than 5,000 years ago. It's a way for us to stop, recharge, and get ready for the challenges of a new week. It's important to rest and refresh or everything will become chaos. You can't be your best in anything. The world starts out in chaos, but God puts it in order. The world we have now is full of chaos. Nothing is like it was before. Maybe if we find small ways to bring some order to our lives, the big stuff will seem better. The most important thing is to have people around to support you. God knew that, so he created multiples of everything. I'm lucky to have really great support. My bat mitzvah wasn't able to happen in April. Getting this portion about the beginning of new things coming from chaos at a time of Sukkot and family works. I would like to thank everyone who helped me get here today. First, I would like to thank Rabbi Cantor Didi because she taught me everything I needed to know for this day and for April too. Next, I would like to thank my Hebrew school teachers for starting me off in the right direction. I would like to thank my mom for bringing me to Hebrew school and getting everything prepared for my bat mitzvah, twice. I'd also like to thank my dad for bringing me to Hebrew school. I would like to thank them both for supporting me with everything I've done now and always. And I would like to say a special thank you to my grandma Linda, who is in heaven and is with us in spirit. It was important to her that my brother, cousins, and I became bar and bat mitzvah. Lastly, I would like to thank everyone who's with me here in person and watching online. I'm looking forward to a time when COVID is over and we can party and celebrate together. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. That was wonderful. So now all of you, we hear the rustling of your papers. So it's a custom to shower the bat mitzvah with sweetness. So don't pelt her, okay? But as we sing Siman Tov and Mazel Tov and clap our hands, even if you don't know it, shower her with that sweetness. May you have great sweetness. Siman Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov, the Siman Tov, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, the Siman Tov, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov, the Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Siman Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov, the Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, the Siman Tov, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, the Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Everyone say Mazel Tov. Woo! Okay, now those of you that want to come and scoop up the candy, you can. Anybody want to come up here? Keep 6 foot difference? I don't know. It's kind of difficult now. Okay.
Come on.
You want to come get some candy? Come get some candy. Come on, come on. Go ahead. Come on. Help us clean up. Yeah, come on. Come get some. You can do it. You can do it. It's all right. All right. So, as you're doing this, yeah, come on. Come get it. It's all here for you. Share the sweetness. So we're really grateful to all of you being here. We're grateful to everybody that has worked so hard to put it together and making sure that we have some light, the very light that Ella was discussing in her speech. We had that first light of day and that separation from darkness to light. So I want to say to you before your parents come up and talk about your sweetness and how wonderful you are. I'm very partial to Ella. My granddaughter is named Ella, so we already have a connection. El is actually one of the names for God, and Ella is actually the feminine form of God. So here you are, speaking of the creation of the world, speaking of God, it's very appropriate. You are an amazing girl. You always have been, even from a little one. It's been wonderful to see you grow up into this beautiful young lady. Isn't she just magnificent? So I hope that you will continue, maybe come back on Simchat Torah and plant the seeds of Judaism for the coming year. I know that Wendy Wengrow out there and Mark Reichert normally do this part, but they'd be happy to let you do it as well if you want to ever come back. So anyway, we're so grateful for your love and your light, and may it continue. May the light of Torah and family help guide you on your path, on your journey throughout life, because you are a wonderful girl with a great spirit, a beautiful heart, a fabulous soul, and you just totally shed light upon all of us with your love for humanity and the love that's in your own being. So, Mazal Tov. Okay, so now, family, come on up.
Reese said, Mom, I know you're going to cry, but I'm trying my best not to. Ella, also known as EBB, Shmella, Ella Bella Boo, and Stinkerbell. I cannot tell you how proud your dad, Paul, and I, and even Reese, are of you tonight. Not only did you study and prepare for your bat mitzvah that was supposed to be in April, you went ahead and studied more and prepared more for you to become a bat mitzvah tonight. This is a huge accomplishment. As you said during your speech, God really was ahead of his time, understanding what the needs of a 13-year-old might be like 5,000 years into the future. You truly do love your day or days of rest. Resting is definitely a strength of yours. Being a 13-year-old girl in today's world is not easy. Life is full of chaos, but you proved tonight that you have the grit and dedication to get through all obstacles and prevail. Yes, times might get tough. You might need to take a break. But with your hard work, kind heart, and tenacity, you will accomplish all you set your mind to. Look around. Our family and friends in this audience, and the many family and friends that are watching at home in Boston, New Hampshire, Florida, and Palm Desert due to COVID, are here to support you in all of your endeavors. We love you, are behind you, and will support you as you continue on your future path. As you mentioned in your speech, Grandma Linda wanted nothing more than to see her grandchildren bar and bat mitzvah. Well, Ella, I know that Grandma Linda is gleaming with pride tonight. You continue to make Grandma Linda and all of us on Team Ella so proud. Congratulations. We love you. And as you said, we can't wait until we can all party together in person when the timing is right. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. So wait, Ella, you need to stay there. Pat Alexander is going to present you with something. And first, Diana Wolf, our president, is going to give you something that's very important. So Diana is going to come forward.
Ella, you were terrific. You were really wonderful. I was sitting there thinking, wow, she's really great. That's wonderful. So, of course, when you have a bat mitzvah, you get to have a certificate. One of many certificates, I'm sure, that you will get in your life. You will have, graduations, and you will have ceremonies. But this is a very powerful one because this puts you in our covenant. You are belonging to the covenant of Judaism. It says, Temple Emet, blessed be God, who chooses us from among the nations and gives us the Torah. And that is what you did today. Ella, the daughter of Amy and Ryan, having completed the required studies, was called to the Torah as a bat mitzvah on the 15th day of Tishrei, 5781, which corresponds to the 2nd day of October, 2020. And you have our signatures, Rabbi Didi's and mine. And that is for you to have, and why don't you take this to keep it in so you can't mess it up? Okay.
Thank you, Diana. And now Brian's going to come and change the microphone cover, and Pat's going to come over and give you a special gift. We are trying to be COVID conscious. We all do the best we can.
Hi, Ella. I'm the president of the sisterhood this year, and we always like to give our
Into the microphone if you can, Pat. They can't hear you.
Can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Better? No. How about now? Yes? Okay. So we always like to give a special gift for you to remember the temple with. Everyone from the sisterhood and the temple, and a lot of them have known you for a long time, seen you grow. The fact that you've had to learn 2 Torah portions, good job. So this is for you. Just so you know, it came directly from the rabbi's study. So it didn't go very far, Mom. And I hope you enjoy it. You're welcome.
Yasher Koach. Ella, you were amazing. Now you can breathe. You're done. Everybody, one last time. Mazel tov. So we are going to conclude our service. What we have to do is we'll do the Aleinu on page 586. If you have only the festival book, I don't think it's in there. You need a Shabbat book that has both. But go ahead and just follow along. And then we have to do a reading for Yizkor, and then we'll do Kaddish. So please rise if you're able to. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, l'teikid l'aliyotzer v'reishi. Sanu kedoye haratzot velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama shelo samcho kenu kahem v'gor aleinu kecho hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lefnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim v'yosed haaretz u'moshev yikaru b'shamayim ima'al u'shechinat uzo Begov Meromim, Hu Eloheinu, Ein Od Malkeinu efesulato, kakatu v'torato, v'yadata hayom v'hashevota el levavecha, ki Adonai Elohim b'shamayim mima'al ve'al haaretz mitachat einod v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. Please be seated. If any of you have a Yizkor booklet from High Holy Days, take this time to look at the names in the booklet or the names on the tribute tree of our loved ones who have passed in the last 10 years, in addition to Essie Friedman and also Ginger McKelvey. And in your own heart, all of you here today and those of you out there in the cyberspace YouTube world, think of your loved ones who are all in the heavenly realm, even your pets, everyone that you have shared your heart with. We remember them at this time. We are meant to do the prayer that is for memory and for love and for light. And so I am first implore you to gaze upon your inner mind's eye on the loved ones, each and every single one of them that you love. Rise if you're able to. And if you want to turn to page 582, I have the El Malei Rachamim prayer. We'll read the English first so you know what I'm chanting about on the bottom of the page. Fully compassionate God on high, to our loved ones who have entered eternity, grant clear and certain rest with you in the lofty heights of the sacred and the pure, whose brightness shines like the very glow of heaven. Source of mercy, forever enfold them in the embrace of your wings. Secure their souls in eternity. Adonai, they are yours. They will rest in peace. And together we say, Amen. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein B'Amramim, Hamsei Menachanachanat Achat Kanfei HaShechina, Im Kedoshim, Kedoshim Adorim, Kezohar Harakia, Mazehi, Lenishmat Yahakireinu, Shehalchu Leolamam, V'Rachamim, V'Rachamim Yastireim, Beseter Kanafam Leolamim, V'Yitzror B'Yitzror HaChaim Et Nishmatam, Adonai Nechalatam, V'Yanuchu V'Shalom Al Mishkavam V'Nomar, we all say Amen. Together, in the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. You can just say we remember them if you don't have the book. In the blowing of the wind and the chill of the winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of the summer, we remember them. In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So as long as they live, we too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. And so all your loved ones who have moved on into the heavenly realm, all those that have died in this season and this time of COVID, if you'll turn to page 598, we think of them. And we pray to God, before we say this Kaddish, which is something that we do for our loved ones who've moved on, that at this time of festival, at this time of yearning and longing, at this time of remembrance of how fragile life is, that God will, no matter what your political allegiance is, heal our President of the United States, the First Lady, anybody that has come in contact with COVID in his cabinet and in his travels. Also, Vice President Biden and Kamala Harris, may they continue to be well. So we ask for a Misha Berach, a Refuah Shlema, a full and complete healing for anybody that is suffering from illness, in body or in spirit. We ask for a full and complete recovery. And so now we're going to move to our Kaddish prayer on page 598. Yikadav Yikadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'almat, Divrach, Yerutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, בחייכון וביומייכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בזמן קריב אמרו.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה, מברך לעולם לעולמי עמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imuru, amen. May God, who is the creator of all seen and unseen, grant eternal rest and perfect peace to our loved ones in the heavenly realm. A special shout out to Ella's family, those who have moved on, and to all those that we want to offer a blessing of true shalom for all eternity. Together we say, amen. So please be seated while we have some announcements from our president. And I think Brian is coming to change the microphone for you. We want to thank all of you for being here. I know that Diana will, but most particularly, I want to say that in this time of pandemic, it takes courage to come out. It's wonderful to see you all wearing your masks. Thank you for showing up for Ella. I know that she's worked hard, not once but twice, for this to happen, and we really appreciate the opportunity to share with you.
Let's see if it works. I don't think it's working.
It is working. We can hear you.
You can hear me?
I don't know why you don't hear it.
I can't hear me. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to all our guests who are here tonight in our parking lot and to celebrate Ella's wonderful bat mitzvah. And welcome to all of you out there in cyberspace, in our YouTube channel. We have to thank Mark Tannen so much for managing all this cyberspace stuff. That's wonderful. And thanks much to Mark Reichert and Elias Resniski and Brian Sprague and Tim Jones for all the setup work. Ella did a great job tonight, and we're all so proud of her. And thanks to the Tilson family for sponsoring the service and those beautiful flowers. By the way, please don't forget to take them home with you. They're beautiful. Thanks so much to Rabbi Cantor, Didi. As always, you do such a beautiful service. Thank you, Dan Spector, and our wonderful musicians, Marianne and Hilda, for the beautiful music. Those of you who will be joining us on Zoom at 2 o'clock this Sunday for our Sisterhood Fundraiser Book Club for the discussion of Garlic and Sapphires, A Critic in Disguise by Ruth Reichel. The Zoom link has been sent by email, so please look for it, and we'll see you on Zoom Sunday, 2 o'clock. Well, it's more or less back to our new normal, with some added things to look forward to. And this means Bible study and Torah study, Hebrew class, and bring your own bottle stuff, and all are resuming the second week of October, October 12, which is also the meeting night for our Board of Trustees. So those of you in cyberspace who didn't make it tonight, remind you that we have a board meeting. A brand new Zoom class is going to be taught about music appreciation by Dan Spector, and it's called Everything You Might Want to Know About Jewish Composers. And it will be taught once a month beginning this Tuesday, October 13, from 7 to 8. The first Zoom session will focus on 20th century pop, Broadway, and film composers. You know, people like George Gershwin, Irving Berlin, Jerome Kern, and all those other wonderful people. The Zoom link will be coming soon, so if you have questions, email Dan at anspector@msn.com. Our next service is Friday, October 16 at 6 o'clock, right here in our parking lot or on our YouTube channel. The link has not changed, but we'll send it out again just before the service, just in case. And now, a very important reminder. If you haven't sent in your Yom Kippur pledge or money yet, please do so, because we're counting on your support to help us get through this very challenging time. For those of you who did not get the Yisker book, we have some right here in a box on the bench in front of the building. You can pick it up tonight or anytime this week. It will be out there. Come and get it. If you want one and you can't get here, please let me know, and I will mail it to you. For those of us who are joining us for dinner at Hank's on Hawthorne Boulevard, just south of PCH, we have reservations for 7:30. And if you haven't already told us that you are coming and you want to go, please let us know right away. We will be distanced. Masks will be required until you're actually seated. Stay well. Till we meet again. Shabbat Shalom and Mazel Tov.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Diana, for all you do as our fearless leader. So you know the saying, make new friends and keep the old. One is silver and the other is gold. It's wonderful to see some old friends here and some new friends as well. Once again, thank you so much for being here. We're going to bless one another with the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction. And then our closing song is going to be Hodu Ladonai. It's something that we are meant to sing at the time of festival. And what I would like you to do when we sing it is clap. Shout. We're giving a shout out to God, saying thank you. We're praising you for the gift of love, life, family, and Ella and this opportunity to share in her bat mitzvah. So please rise if you're able to. If you're in your own family unit, you can hug them, put your arm around them. You could give a virtual hug to the people out in the cyber world. As we bless one another, we ask God, the ultimate divine presence in our lives that helps to guide us through our dark moments, our happy moments. Just like we wind the Torah from the end lovingly back to the beginning over and over and over again, we are meant to have this cycle of life continue. There are going to be times of joy and times of sadness. That's why it's so important to hold on to the ones that we love and embrace these moments of joy and help them to shed light upon those moments when we have darkness. So once again, thank you to Adonai. Thank you to all of our people here that have come to support Ella. Thank you to our community of Temple Emet, to our musicians, to our board of trustees, and all the volunteers that make everything happen here all the time. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Shabbat Shalom to everybody. And now we're going to have Hodu Ladonai. So get ready, start clapping. Thank you for being with us. Those of you that are going to the restaurant, go straight there because they are expecting us. Be safe, be well. May God be with you. Yasher Koach to Ella.